Hello and welcome to Trax, the official coaches show of Lion Athletics. I'm your host, Eric Brignac, and joining me here today is baseball head coach Bobby Barbier. Coach, welcome to the show. It's your first one.
Thank you. No, it's great to be here.
Man, thank you for joining us this morning.
You got it.
Coach, baseball is loved by so many people, and the audience wants to know, how do you decide that I want to commit and become a coach for my career?
Well, it's a long story. Hope you got a minute. I originally wanted to be a football coach. My dad was a football coach, and that was kind of my first love. Probably like watching football a little more than baseball even now. And then my opportunity happened to be in baseball. I played baseball and football in high school. Knew I wanted to coach. Was a better baseball player. Got an opportunity to go to Northwestern State in the baseball scholarship, and was a pretty good player there. And I was able to hook on to. I mean, there was pretty good track run of coaches that have gone through that school. I mean, you got Dave Van Horn and John Cohen and Jim Wells and Mitch Gaspar and Mike Bianco and Matt Deggs and Lane Burrows that lot to me. All those guys coached there, so I knew that I would have some opportunity there when I went to school there. So I was able, when I finished playing, to hook on as a GA, and then went to Alabama after that for 5 years. After I spent a few years at Northwestern, and then went back there before I came here. So it was. I think I could coach anything, to be honest. Like not to say that I'd be good at it, but that for me and what I would like. I mean, I enjoy being out there with the boys. That's what I enjoy. I don't need it to be baseball. Now I do love baseball, and I was fortunate enough to be a pretty good player. But I think the best part of it for me is just being able to go to work every day with a really good staff and being around a bunch of young guys that we have the opportunity to influence.
And that's fantastic there, Coach. And I never knew that about you. Like, originally wanted to go into football, but ended up joining baseball. That's quite the story.
Had a little more opportunity there, and grew to love it. I mean, obviously, I played it, in college, so grew to once I got to college, kind of started going that direction.
And that's amazing. The original plan didn't occur, but there was something so much better just waiting for you.
That's right. You never know.
That's right. Go, Coach. And now I know you came into Hammond because you told me that you have a connection with J.R. Teagues. Can you also tell me what else drew you and your family to come into the city and take the head coaching opportunity at Southeastern?
Yeah, well, like I said, Jay and I have been good friends for a long time. That wouldn't be the only reason I'd come here. That's for sure. I mean, I've always been kind of on the outside looking in. We played you guys when I was at Northwestern for 7 years as a head coach, with more as an assistant. And just watching what you guys had in this program, and the resources you had, the crowds you get at the games, the atmosphere at the ball games, and just the town. I mean, my family has fallen in love with the town and really enjoy being here. So it was, Jay and I had a connection there, and so that was part of it. But when he started to explain, exactly what would be available for us and to help us compete in a really good baseball league, that kind of drew my attention a little more. And then the people here in the city, which are just, icing on the cake.
And it was really just quite the switch up for you, Coach. And you go from Natchitoches, Louisiana to Hammond, America. Like, was the transition very, very smooth? Or did it take a while?
Yeah, it was smooth, and I love Natchitoches, and I still do. I mean, I got really good friends there, and my wife and daughter have great friends there also. Anytime you're moving a child, I mean, my daughter's 11, that's not easy. I mean, she's got friends and doesn't really understand what's going on as far as jobs and careers and those things. And so that was difficult, but we've, she's got a lot more here for things that she likes, and of course made friends. And my wife's wonderful. She's a school teacher, and she was able to find a job pretty quick, and it was very smooth transition.
Well, very good, Coach. And the program, Southeastern, they're happy to have y'all here.
Well, thank you.
And Coach, now that you're here, I want to take some time to just reflect on the beginning of the season. Like, what's been your assessment of what the Lions just open up the season all the way up until now?
Yeah, I mean, we got off to a pretty hot start. I mean, we got wins over Southern Miss and East Carolina. I think East Carolina is number 7 now. We didn't lose a series, for the first, I think, 7 series in a row, and which is pretty special, and then we kind of fell on little hard times. And our game is probably one thing that drew me to our game. It's I mean, it can be streaky sometimes. It's for the tough guys because it can get really tough for an extended period of time if you let it. You know, if you go 3 out of 10, you make the Hall of Fame. You know, so I mean, you're failing 7 of those times. You know, as it's perceived to people. So it's that's one thing that makes it a lot about life. You know, and our game is very much like that. So it's been like I said, we've got a really hot start. We had a little tough stretch here lately. Won a couple games this week. Hopefully that'll kind of get us going for this last 4 weeks of Southland Conference play.
Very good, Coach. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Bobby Barbier, head coach of Lions baseball.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo. Gracias. Thank you. What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Welcome back to Lion Trax. Coach, before we went on break, you really took the words out of my mouth about baseball being a game of streaks. And we're going to talk about that with the Southeastern season. Y'all started off hot, and then, like you said, like y'all hit a cold snap. What does the process look like for you and the coaching staff to just keep the locker room composed and then just have a rebound?
Yeah, well, that's difficult. You know, I mean, it's we try to be really consistent, like even during the hot streaks, cold streaks, whatever. You know, I try to do things like I would appreciate if I played. You know, so we really try to keep things the same. Obviously, there's adjustments that need to be made, but we think to have a consistent team, we got to have consistent coaches. You know, so we try really hard to do that. And then it's you know, I always like to say, make it about the baseball. Whenever you don't play well, you can make it about other things. You can make it about what so-and-so says or what was written here, or, you know, all of these things that don't really matter a whole lot. And emotions get a little higher, you know, when those things happen. So just make it about the baseball. So what do we need to improve upon? What's the plan to get better, you know? And I think when you do those things, you can really give the guys something tangible that, hey, this is what we need to do individually and then what we need to do as a group. And they've been working really hard toward that, you know, since we kind of had that little cold snap.
And so far, that hard work has already paid off because Alcorn State came into Hammond, and y'all took both those games. And now I just want to ask, what is going to happen now, for this team, to just keep the momentum going?
Well, I mean, we got to keep playing well. You know, I mean, I think you know, when you talk about momentum, you know, the kind of baseball quote, it's only as good as the next game starting pitcher. We got a pretty good one going in Stuperts, you know, tomorrow at McNeese. So I think he's second in the league in the ERA. So he's been a rock for us. Now we just got to play well behind him. You know, we got to make the plays, and we talk a lot about running to the moment. You know, and I thought in that early stretch, like it was guy after guy that wanted to be in those tight spots. And for whatever reason, it wasn't quite that way for a while. You know, in baseball, you're one big hit away, but even if it's a big hit, you can hit it well and not get a hit sometimes, or you can have a bad at bat and loop one in. So that's what I want to see here on the way out is guys running to the moment, you know, being excited about what could happen and what they can do to help us win.
Coach, I've looked on the Southland Conference website, and the team ranks 6th in team batting average and 2nd in ERA. What goes into maintaining consistency and making adjustments to keep winning in the bulk of conference play?
We've been in the top, I think top 2 or 3 in ERA all year long. I wouldn't say that we've pitched that well to be in the top 2 or 3, but we are there. I think needing a guy or two out of the bullpen. I think Lakin Polk has been kind of our guy. We'll need 1 or 2 other guys to kind of step up that we can rely on a little bit. And not to say we have a bunch of guys that aren't reliable, but just guys that can come in and be dominant for us, and we can really count on the way out. Offensively, we lost Justin Williams. I mean, Justin was, he was leading the league in home runs with about 50 fewer at bats than everybody else. I mean, he was a player, and that really hurt. And thanks for him too. Broke his ankle a couple weeks ago. So we didn't really recover a whole lot from that. We need guys to step up in that lineup. You're not going to replace a guy like that, but you can, if you can give better at bats 1 through 9, to help us out a little bit. So. Just those things, the things that win every game, the things that win all the time. Each pitch got to be competitive, and that's when you're on a mound, that's when you're waiting for a ball at shortstop, or when you're at the plate with men on scoring position.
And just having Justin Williams go down, has there been any updates with the status?
Yeah, he'll be out for the season. He had a dislocated ankle, so he's in a boot, and just trying to rehab to get better. We're checking into some medical opportunities and where he have another year, but if not, try to get him hooked on with a professional team to where he maybe get a free agent opportunity.
And there we go, Coach. And just support him, and then just
that's all you can do.
Up.
Love on him, and that's another thing about baseball, like about life. It's not fair sometimes. So it's that kid was playing as well as he's played his entire life, and for a senior, that really stinks. But, it's part of it. Unfortunately, injury is a part of our game. So he's in good spirits now. So he's out there every day at practice, cheering on the guys, and he's been really good for our team.
Very good, Coach. And Hammond and everyone here will be praying for a swift recovery for
Of
Justin.
Course. Yep, thank you.
Of course, Coach. And now, the conference tournament is going to be right around the corner before we know it. Just want to know, how do you find the balance for the players to focus? I know with finals are coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and also maintain that focus within the diamond simultaneously during this time.
I think you got to separate it. I really think so. I think, we want the baseball field in the locker room to be kind of a getaway. It's not easy to think that way. I mean, you've been through finals, and you will again. And it's when you need a good grade and you got to do things outside of class. To make sure that happens, it can take away, and we give them that freedom. They all know if they need something, we can provide them with resources. At the academic center that we have, but we can also give them time and things like that. So it's a matter of having some balance, but the tournament's normally after the finals are over, so normally you get a lot of more relaxed guys, when it goes into that. But they know they have some freedom, and that we try to tell them that if you take care of your business in February and January, then you don't have to panic right now, and that probably goes for every college student. But for some reason, it doesn't always work out that way. I was a student too at one point, so I know how it feels. But they've done a pretty good job with their grades so far, and I expect the same moving forward.
And that's what I like to hear too, because I know I was doing my research preparing for the show. Not only you're just very baseball oriented, I know you emphasize on focusing and also stress how important it is to maintain good grades in your academic career.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we truly believe how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Or you can switch those words around a little bit. So if we can't trust you to go and be in class every day, and it's gonna be really hard to trust you, when a game's on the line in ninth inning. So it's those things go hand in hand a lot. So we try to make sure we're well rounded as student athletes.
Very, very good, Coach, and doing a very good job too.
Thank you.
And finally, I mentioned in the previous question with the Southland Conference Tournament, so far, what's your position, and what goals have you set for the team and just everyone in the clubhouse to prepare for that?
Yeah, I'm not really into goal setting when it comes to that kind of thing. Our goals are more process-based goals, things that we can achieve daily. I have a goal of having really good practice today. and then, everybody doing what they're supposed to do tonight, and then, being on time tomorrow for the bus and having a really good pregame. Like, those are kind of goals of ours. We're fighting. I mean, there's no secret to it. We're going to be fighting to get into the tournament with where we're set now. That could change in 2 weeks. Maybe it's not, but I think if you truly believe in what we preach of going out and playing each day on its own and not looking ahead too much, I mean, you can really play with your mind, if you start looking ahead and you go, well, we got to win this many games and only lose this many, and it doesn't work. It only hurts you, when you start thinking that way. So I'm looking forward to us having a solid game on Friday. That's what I'm looking forward to. And then, hopefully we take care of that one. We can move on to Saturday. If we don't, we got to play Saturday anyway. We have a solid game Saturday. We really try to think that way, and it won't change with the tournament coming up.
Yes, sir, Coach. And this is all about, like you said, like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. You have to learn to walk before you can start running.
That's right.
Because if you start running before you can walk, like, you're going to trip up.
That's right. No doubt about it.
That's all the time we have for Line Trax today. For more information about Lions Athletics, go to linesports.net. I'm Eric Brignac, and we hope to see you on the next edition on Line Trax.